Right, now we are going to understand about retention annotation. We need to understand difference between comments and annotations there. If we provide metadata by using comments, then that metadata is available up to source code. It may not be available up to .class file and up to runtime of our application. But if we want to make our metadata up to Java source code and up to .class files and up to runtime of our applications, then we must go for which one they know, @retention, then we need to go for annotations there. Good. Annotations are available up to source code and up to class and up to runtime of our application. But my requirement is which one? For example, I want to define annotation @interface persistable annotation I declared with some members. Now I want to use some lifetime for this persistable annotation. I want to provide this annotation up to source code only. I don't want to provide this annotation up to class file and up to runtime of our application. To make available this annotation up to source code, then we have to use @retention annotation then. Not only up to the source code, we can make available this annotation up to source code and up to runtime and up to class file. If we want to define any particular lifespan for our annotation, then we must go for @retention annotation. What is the syntax of @retention annotation? @retention of retention policy value we need to provide. Retention policy value we need to provide. Where retention policy is an enum which contains some values. What are the values, Kerno? Retention policy dot source is one constant. Retention policy dot class is another constant. Retention policy dot runtime is another one. Here source in the sense .java file, source code. Class in the sense up to .class file. Runtime in the sense up to this particular runtime. Now, I want to declare my persistable annotation. I want to make available this persistable annotation along with the Java code up to runtime. So what I have to do now? I need to use @retention, where we need to provide retention policy dot runtime. That's all. If we use retention policy dot runtime, automatically our persistable annotation is available along with Java code up to .java file, up to .class file and up to runtime of our application. To make available our persistable annotation up to runtime, we have to use this @retention annotation. @retention annotation is using retention policy annotation clearly, enum clearly. Custom annotations. Up to now we understood about standard annotations, predefined annotations provided by Java. Predefined annotations are the annotations which are defined by Java along with Java predefined library. Custom annotations, user-defined annotations. These are the annotations defined by the developers as per their application requirements. These are the annotations provided by the developers as per their application requirements. Fine. If you want to define user-defined annotations in Java, we need some steps clearly. What are the various steps we require clearly? Step number 1. Define user-defined annotation. Number 2. Utilize user-defined annotation in a Java program, Java application. Number 3, access data from user defined annotation. That's all. So these are the 3 steps here we required to design and use custom annotations. First one, define user defined annotation. Define or declare, no problem. Number 2, utilize user defined annotation in a Java application. Number 3, access data from user defined annotation. To access the data from user defined annotation, where we have to use some reflection API. Fine, we will see this content practically, programmatically, understand it? Alright, if we want to define user defined annotations, first we need to declare user defined annotation. For that we need to take a Java file. Here we need to provide user defined annotation. So to define user defined annotations, we have to use meta annotations. So all meta annotations are available in java.lang.annotation package. So we have to import java.lang.annotation package now. So import java.lang.annotation.star we need to provide. Even though java.lang package is default package, but sub-packages are not importable by default, so we have to import sub-packages separately. Next one, I want to declare my annotation as @inherited annotation, and I want to declare my annotation as @documented annotation, and I want to define target elements from my annotation. So @target, where element type dot type I will provide. I want to define lifetime for my annotation, that is by using @retention, where lifetime we are going to provide by using retention policy dot, I want to use it runtime, like this. All meta annotations are provided. Now here my annotation is which one? Course annotation I want to prepare. Course is my annotation. Student is my Java class. To the student class I want to provide course details as a metadata. That is my requirement. So my annotation would be which one? Course annotation there. So declare it interface course. Now inside this course annotation I need to declare members. Members I need to declare. So the first member is which one? String course ID parenthesis. Then if you want to provide default values, then we can provide default values. Default, just I want to provide C111 is a course ID. Next one, string course name I want to provide. Default value I want to provide, course name is C programming language. C programming language. Next one, I want to go for course cost is another one. Default value I want to provide 10,000. So this is course annotation what we declared. Now I want to save it in our location. Our location is D drive annotations. Now where I want to save course.java. So user defined annotation is ready. User defined annotation is declared. After this we need to prepare Java class. We need to take the Java program. Now here I want to prepare student as a Java class. So public class student. Inside the student class I want to declare some members. String student ID, string student name, and a string student address. Like 3 members I want to take inside student class. and I want to take a constructor to create an object for student class with my data where string student ID comma, string student name comma, and string student address we need to provide. Moreover, for student class only, I want to prepare my annotation. My annotation would be @course annotation, where course ID is equal to C-333, comma, course name is equal to Java, comma, course cost is equal to integer value I need to provide 30,000 is a course cost. So this is which one? A course annotation applied for student class. Next one. In the student class, 3 variables I have taken: SID, SNAME, SIDDR, and a constructor I have taken to create object for student class. Public student, SID, SNAME, and SIDDR are parameters then. Then inside this, data will come to local variables. I need to pass the data from local variable to class level variables. So that this dot student ID is equal to SID, this dot student name is equal to SNAME. Next one, this dot student address is equal to S address, like this. Next one, I want to display student details clearly. To display student details, we need to go for a method public void get student details method. Now inside this method, I need to display student information, system.out.println of student details. One line I am going to provide. System.out.println of one line space. Next one, system.out.println of student ID plus SID. System.out.println of student name plus SNAME. Next one, system.out.println of student address plus SID. Like all the student details we displayed. Now see this now. Student class I have taken. For a student class I applied annotation, that is course annotation I have applied. In a student class 3 variables I have taken and one constructor I have taken to create object for student class. Next one method I have taken get to student details method, where I displayed all the student details clearly.